Okay, here is the video here. We're going to read this one. This is from Marie Claire. This is written by Sarah Wilson. You know, again, we're just here to want to help Sarah. Yeah, man, damn, I would blow her world apart in a good way. To the outside world, entrepreneurs. I'm reading this off the screen. Entrepreneur Sarah Wilson seems to have it all. She's beautiful. She is a very attractive lady. She's smart. She's successful. She is very. Best known as the creator of her multi-million-dollar I Quit Sugar empire. Damn. But few know Wilson has battled an avalanche of mental illnesses throughout her life. I look at her face, the first time I saw her, before I heard anything from her voice, the first time I looked into her eyes, I'm like, this girl needs help. She is battling a raging ED, which will never disappear as long as she fears sugar. And So few people know Wilson has battled an avalanche of mental health issues between her life, including bulimia, depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, and bipolar, which are all really trademarks of successful people. And they're good things, you just got to manage them right. In her new book, First We Made the Beast Beautiful, she wraps them into one simple yet so very complicated diagnosis: anxiety. In this exclusive Marie Claire extract, she explains what anxiety looks like at its most frightening, but also how she has learned to channel it into her rich life journey. First of all, I want to add that anxiety is normal. The human brain's not designed to make us happy. The human brain's designed to run anxiety as its like default OS X or Windows op, whatever you want to call it. Right? The iOS, that's anxiety, man. That's default. If you don't have anxiety as your default, then something's wrong with you. What is anxiety? Anxiety is like asking the question, what's wrong in this situation? What could go wrong? Okay, so that's really good, right? You want to have anxiety. That keeps you safe. Like when I'm riding my bike down the road and I'm looking around, I'm like, hey, is this driver seeing me? Is this potholes that all on the road? Or is this douchebag going to pull out? Is that texting? Like, is this person doing an I Quit Sugar program? Can they see me? They're undercarbed as heck. Oh, they are pulling out. No, they're definitely doing an I Quit Sugar. They can't even see me. They're looking straight at me. They're definitely undercarbed. Their brain's not getting enough glucose. So my anxiety is always running. You want to have anxiety. Now, when you get undercarbed, when you don't have enough sugar, that anxiety just goes just through the charts. It's like when you're stoned almost. When you have like, you get some THC in your system, then you run like, you run like 100 thought processes just to do something simple. Like you're talking to some friends and then you're like, am I talking too loud? Did I just pick my ass in front of someone? Am I picking my nose? Or what? Are people judging me? Like you just run all these thought processes that aren't really that normal, but you run everything at one time. You're like, I don't know, what? And so it's just, what I mean? So it's like that, but a little bit toned down. When you're undercarb, you're just like in this like heightened anxiety, bit of out of control anxiety. The anxiety is in control when you have enough sugar, and it's out of control when you don't. That's just nature, because nature's saying, now you don't have any food, you don't have any sugar, right? You don't have our primary source, our most our most nutrient, our most important nutrient for the human body is sucrose, is sugar. Now some people go, oh, that's not true. Sucrose is the most important thing. It's not glucose or fructose as much as it is sucrose. That's why if you have, you give marathoners glucose, they perform good. You give them fructose, they perform good. You give them glucose and fructose, aka sucrose, they perform the best. You give academics glucose or fructose or sucrose, the sucrose academics perform the best. This is just fact, So the body needs glucose and fructose. Fructose fuel the sperm cells. That's how important fructose is. And that's why we love sweet. So when you don't have enough sucrose coming in, your body's like, wow, you're really in a situation where what's going on? This is not really good. Where are you? You're away from your fruit trees. You're away from your sugar. Like, make sure you're okay. So anxiety just gets heightened. And then when you put the sugar back in, anxiety goes back down. Try it out for yourself. Next time you're feeling mad anxiety, that you're really out of control, instead of popping the pills, pop some sugar. Scull a cordial, scull a fruit juice, put some sugar in it, chop up some watermelon, put sugar all over that, eat it, and just go, wow, blissing, feeling great, life's meant to be sweet. So let's read this one from Sarah. How we go for time? Almost good. Wow. All right, here we go. This is from Sarah Wilson. How it feels to fall into an anxious spiral. In a hotel room, 30,000 words into writing the first draft of my book, I had an anxious spiral. To keep me in real time, authentic grit and grime of it all. I'd just begun seeing a guy, and we're in Hawaii. We were both traveling in different parts of the world and decided to meet up for an adventure. It was early days in the relationship and we were going to share a bed for the first time. Until this moment, I'd been able to avoid this fairly fundamental step in the courtship process. She writes really well. It's highly awkward, especially talking about it here. Despite years of work to destigmatize any fear of not falling asleep, I still rigidly control my sleeping arrangements with a white-knuckle grip. I will interject, one of the main things when you don't get enough sugar, you can't freaking sleep properly. You just like, because your body's going, get food, get sugar, get sugar, get sugar, get some sugar. We need glycogen for tomorrow, otherwise it might be tiger food. Get sugar, get sugar. That's why when you have some carbs at night time, your serotonin goes up, your dopamine's good, and you're like, sleepy time. Okay? One of the main symptoms, people don't get enough sugar, can't sleep properly. Sarah, bang. And then that creates a whole host of mental health issues. All the cards fall down when the sugar's out. I feel I have to ensure I sleep to ensure my autoimmune disease doesn't flare. Autoimmune disease, again, not enough sugar. The immune system, what does it run on? Sugar. Glucose-induced phagocytosis. To ensure I can function and run a business and handle other humans and be a passable girlfriend. You know, like Sarah's trying to juggle all these plates, spin all these plates, and she's trying to avoid sugar. So can you imagine being in her? That's like a prison sentence emotionally. Like, I've had girls in my life who've been fearing sugar, and they're okay for like a few hours. But after a few hours, I'm like, man, I've got to get out of here. You know, once the sex is done, I'm like, I've got to go. And the sex will be hit and miss. They'll be like really good one day, like really good, and the next day I'll be just be like, I'm just like, man, you need to have some more sugar. Sugar? Damn. Where were we here? I wear earplugs, an eye mask, and even tape my lips shut with surgical tape, a very cheap tip for my dentist to stop grinding, aka bruxism. In hotels, I check for rattling windows, humming fuse boxes, and bar fridges. I turn them off at the power point at night. Well, that saves electricity, not a bad idea. Ditto LED alarm clocks next to the bed. Checking out the next day entails a detailed reconnection job. I turn stuff off as well just to save electricity. Where's my water bottle here? I had a craving for water, but can't have water. I quit water. I like to have a shower before bed every single night. That's me too. This entirely non-negotiable. Like 100%. I'm about 99%. Since as long as I remember, at least since I was a small child, I've not gone without a shower before bed. Not once. When I camp, I have to carry in extra bathing water. My friends and brothers know this and factor it in to the bag packing allocation. I've previously bathed in rivers with ice floating in them, in the snow in the Andes, in a dank, slime-filled pool in Mexico. I mean, I love swimming in rivers. Not sure about the slime-filled swimming pool though. On a hiking trip in Kakadu once, I bathed in the gorge while my friends shone their head torches on the freshwater crocodiles on the opposite bank, watching their little red eyes to any movement. I'd do that. The mere presence of another human lying next to me, their heart beating, their pheromones emanating, will keep me on high alert for 7 hours. Sarah, baby, you got to up the sugar and pull out the stimulants, man. I bet you're wild on modafinil, the anti-narcolepsy drug, and you're just like, pinging, man. No wonder you feel excess anxiety, babe. No wonder. All of which is tricky to explain someone early in a relationship. I'm ashamed to say I tend to work very hard to avoid having to address it. You know, I would love to spend time with Sarah Wilson. We could break through all this and give her some really good pleasure in a good way. She would feel fantastic spending some time with me. Definitely, I can guarantee it. But here we were, in Hawaii, late at night, with one double bed and the two of us, and nowhere to dart at midnight with a kiss to the cheek. And everything was up in the air. Man, I wish I was this guy. This would be very good fun. My head desperately, and fun for her too, my head desperately tried to solve the situation as a storm raged outside, rattling the plantation shutters. I juggled 87,462 possibilities in my head. I hadn't slept for several days. Sarah, you're definitely hitting the stims, baby. And you need more sugar. What if I can't be a nice girlfriend tomorrow? It's really hard to be nice when we're constantly hangry. It's really, it's impossible. Eventually you're going to crack and be like, ugh. What if my inflammation flares and I have to retreat to a dark room for the day and ruin plans? I rang downstairs to see if there was another hotel room I could move into. It was $700. Is a night's sleep worth $700? What's the right answer? I tried to weigh the pros and cons back and forth. I grasped at the life natural Wilson's partner. I pecked at him for answers, reassurances, watertight guarantees. Men, we got to be rocks for women. Women want us to guide them and protect them and love them and give them affection and pleasure. This guy sounded like he didn't do the right job that night. This is all new to him. He balked at my first... He hasn't handled girls with EDs. I have. I know exactly what to do in this situation. And it's always fun. Always fun. If in doubt, guys, always fun. He balked at my first rejection of his. She'll be right. There's nothing to worry about efforts. He was not certain enough for the spiral he was witnessing. And he left me to stay with a friend. This dude bailed out, man. He left Sarah, the hottie, in the hotel room bed by herself. Oh, my God. This dude is beta, man. Heck. There's no way I'd leave Sarah Wilson laying in bed by herself in Hawaii. Oh, my God. Guys. Damn. You know what I mean? Damn. You got to comfort the woman, man. You got to comfort her. From comfort builds intimacy. From intimacy comes pleasure. From pleasure comes connection and fun. And life is good. Life is meant to be sweet. This dude bailed out. So he failed Sarah's subconscious shit test. This guy, Sarah, he ain't worthy. Damn. It was not... Yeah, wow. He left. This dude left, man. Left. Can you imagine that? What sort of guy leaves a hottie in bed in Hawaii by herself to go stay with a friend? I mean, maybe he's swinging both ways and he cut with his girlfriend. Who knows? Hey, whatever. I grasped at my stomach, clawing. I often clutch at my stomach when I'm in a spiral, digging my fingernails in and scraping away. I ran a knife across my middle once, hoping the graphic splitting of flesh would render things more real and stop the thoughts. Sarah, you need some sugar, baby. Both ways. It's all I want, the thoughts to stop, but it only served to add more thoughts to the situation. What will I tell others about this scar down the track? Where does this fit into the polemic on self-harming woman? For me, what I see now, what I read here is Sarah's massively, abusing stimulants without meaning to abuse them. And she's going into like a low glycogen sugar psychosis. Serotonin's down low, dopamine's going up and down. And she's slipped into a psychosis because she's a type A chick with a lot of power physically, or especially mentally. She's very creative. It's becoming a self-destructive situation here. I would love to be in this situation. I would love to have seen that guy walk out the door and be in the next room before and go, hey, Sarah, she wants someone to talk with. Let's talk all night, baby. Let's get through all this. I would have loved to have been there. I continued the free fall. This metaphor works and I've used it to explain things. I'm a coyote who's chased Roadrunner over the cliff and I'm frantically treading thin air, trying to grasp at something solid to hang on to. There's nothing there, just the abyss. The more I grasp outwards, the more frantic I get and down I go. I also grasp out clauses. Here in Hawaii, I clocked the balcony 4 flights up several times. It's an option, which means you might jump. When I'm alone in an anxious spiral, it's easier to find a way to slow down the spiral. But when there's added fuel of another person's needs and confused face and defensive pushback, or even just the beating of their heart, the panic often worsens. I would say this guy was pretty good looking, and Sarah chose this guy because he had the looks but not the skills to pay the bills, which is evident because he walked out the room and left the hottie in the bed alone in Hawaii on a nice tropical night with the storm. The energy that could have been there. Damn, dude, you are beta. I guess my base self, which is what I've descended to, perceived him as a threat, and my fight or flight mechanism goes into deranged hyperdrive. I'm so stuck, there are no more options I can grasp onto, and the only way out is to get out, to flee, to stop the thoughts. Nothing else matters in such moments. I've ran 10 Ks down a mountain in the dark with no shoes. That's cool. And no bra. Nice. During my first anxious spiral in the presence of my first boyfriend, George. I ran through Florence at 2 a.m. another time. I've done the Bangkok Marathon at 3 a.m. With no idea where I was heading. Where and why was simply not something I cared about in these desperate moments. I had to get out. Loved ones try to understand it through their unspiraling lens. People don't understand. Sarah, I understand exactly what you're going through, what's going on. Most people wouldn't. They'd have no idea. They'd just think, what's going on again? They'd have no idea what's going on. You know, you can spend big money on therapists and that. They're just like, clock watching. Yes, Sarah, we know you're a millionaire. Come back next week and we'll whip you off some more money. They've got no idea. They've got EDs themselves. They've got sugar